Okay, so as you can see, it is incredibly bright out today. Yep, I've got shades on. It is what it is. So today's video, I want to dive into really one about the immigration issue at the moment. Now, obviously, it's a bit of a thorny one. I know there's kind of a whole cornucopia of things that come into play with this topic. Things like digital ID, things like shadow work. Obviously, there is a real cost to immigration, whether it's legal or illegal or irregular, as they now call it, in the UK. And it's undeniable that across Britain right now, the debate around immigration, it's not just about the numbers. It's about work, it's about identity, it's about what rights we have as British citizens above and beyond those that have entered the country possibly illegally. And also who gets left behind in all this. And so today what I want to do, I really want to do a little dive into what's happening behind the headlines, basically the news that you're probably not going to see. So, what if the next time you apply for a job, you need a phone-based ID just to prove that you're allowed to work? What if your driver's license, your passport, your birth certificate, proof that you're renting a property and paying council tax? What if none of this is enough? But more scarily, what if that ID becomes a piece of the immigration control puzzle for real? That future may be closer than any of us think. So the meat and bones of this is that the digital ID scheme has been announced. It's been announced as being mandatory for proving the right to work by the end of Parliament and optional, or now stated as being optional for other things. One of the driving factors, in fact, the main driving factor, as stated by Keir Starmer himself for this, is because it's the best way, he says, to tackle illegal work, which is basically seen by his government as, the pull factor. Illegal work is apparently the thing that's drawing in illegal immigration. Now, I know what I feel about this. I think that the ability to work in the UK is probably the very last thing that anybody entering illegal is thinking of doing. I think that they're coming in hoping that they can delay, and then claim everything that they can while they're waiting for their case to be heard, which can take years and years. That's one man's opinion, obviously. There have been protests around this. There are obviously massive tensions in certain parts of the UK around things like asylum accommodation, whether it's hotels, whether it's industrial sites, even now army bases, suspiciously, I might add, have been repurposed, or, derelict army bases have been repurposed to host illegal migrants and our new asylum seekers. Now, whatever you may feel about this, obviously there is friction in local communities in these parts of the UK. It's undeniable. Even the mainstream media is unable to rewrite this narrative or to hide the impact that it's having on everyday people, real people, people like you, people like me. But there are also civil liberty concerns. So the government denies that the digital ID will track carbon footprints or act as some kind of carbon scoring system. Now, I did do a video the other day on how my NatWest banking app is actually now tracking my carbon footprint and has given me a carbon scoring system. So, I don't know if I believe them. One man's opinion again. So, what's really being traded here, though? Is it efficiency? Is it security? Is it national control? Or is it simply the freedoms, the trust, and the community or sense of cohesion that we have as British citizens in this country? And there are implications for people that are already struggling in this current situation to make ends meet. Undeniably, their situation isn't going to get any better by the introduction of digital IDs to manage a migration policy or immigration policy which is completely out of control and out of whack with, I have to say, probably the vast amount of British people and the sentiment that they hold towards it. Even people that are staunch Labour supporters that I've spoken to that actually voted in this government are against this aspect of what they're doing in regards to their rewrite of the manifesto. So, I think the writing's on the wall. There is a massive cost of keeping control, and keeping control, it may not just be a financial cost, it might be social. And that'd be massive detriment to retaining future votes. If work becomes more tightly regulated via digital ID and it becomes inextricably tied through IDs to immigration enforcement, then the lines that we currently have between citizen and non-citizen, the haves and the have-nots, they're going to blur, and everybody's rights, whether you've lived here all your life or you're fresh off a boat, they all become less secure. So I guess, to be philosophical about it, in the end, it raises a far bigger question. Do we, as a nation, want to build society where identity is a gateway to work and to belonging? Or is it going to be one where belonging is inherent regardless of paperwork? I'd love to hear what you guys think. So yeah, drop it in the comments, let me know thoughts and opinions on this. I appreciate, as I said, it is one man's opinion. But yeah, I see this as a big problem, that digital ID is becoming so inextricably linked, not only to the right to work, but also to enforce migration. I don't think it's going to pan out the way they want it to. Really keen to find out your views. So YouTube is going to pop another video there. Like, follow, subscribe, ring the bell, all that jazz. I'm going to go and do some more work. Goldman, peace out.